Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We once again are back, but this time Debbie will not be here with me. I miss Debbie though, but we'll be back with Zebby. I mean, Zevo, of course. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back in the Mythic Showdown Season 2. Small technical difficulty definitely happened, but we are very quick to fix it, So, we are back again. And Zebby, or Zevo, how are you feeling about this last game of the night?
Feeling very excited to see these two teams play against each other, of course. But before we talk about that, right? Last match of today, and we are back with you. I mean, that was a little bit of a breakdown, we can say there. But hey, it's a Mythic Showdown. We can't really have it, behind the scenes because everyone is there to see it all together. They're all excited.
Yes,
same as me as well. And I did not like that you missed Debbie. Okay, you casted with her 2 games already. That is completely unfair. But I miss Debbie as well, so it's fine. We're on.
Hey, that's unfair.
I mean, let's just not.
It is, but again, you know what? It's okay. It's to wait, but this game has no. I will not. Right, but again, like you mentioned, why should we just have the fun by watching this game offline? We need the viewers to have fun as well with us. So we are back with this last game of the night between Team Armageddon taking on against Team Untitled. Will Team Untitled find their title tonight? With the question, but Armageddon as well. They are both in the 1-1 bracket. There are only 2 ways from here. Either you go to the 2-1 bracket or you fall down to the 1-2 bracket, which will be the battle of the survival at the end of the day. So you wouldn't rather like to go there. But either way, I think both the teams have a very good shot in going to or furthering or advancing to the 1-2 bracket. Wait, 2-1 bracket, my bad on that. And because of that, I think they will be having some tough teams to go against, but at the same time, I think they're up for the challenge because this is Mythic Showdown. If you're not up for the challenge, then there's no room for you.
Yeah, and it's quite unfortunate that both the teams can't really go up all together in the 2-1 bracket. One has to fall down for the other one to rise up, so that is quite unfortunate. But the thing about this, whole play out is that you get to have different types of opponents. You get to know how they play. You get to play different type of tactics towards them as well. So that is quite the diversity there that we get, right, for the whole of the community for India, right? So it's quite exciting to see as well. But today's game, these two teams, Armageddon Esports going against Untitled. I mean, both of them, right, are quite well known once again though. So I'm quite there. I personally prefer both the teams as well. They are quite the unique ones, if I have to say, when coming to the playstyle. Not to mention, we got Taki there, so that is another plus point.
Yeah, I think Daki is the definite W in this Mythic Showdown Season 2, right? Because even last season, she was the only girl playing in this tournament, and this time too, she's continuing her legacy. I think that's such a big thing, and inspire so many other girls or the female players to actually just come and join this as well, because this is not just a men exclusive tournament, right? Anyone and everyone can join this, no matter of your age, no matter of where you're from, what is your gender, anything. Everyone is welcome as long as your game is of the top quality. If you are the best in India, or if you want to be the best in India, this is the ultimate platform for you to shine. So any team winning from here will definitely can flex it around, because last time I think it was team LCF, which is no longer there with the same name, winning it out. And this time we are waiting for a new champion. It's not going to be LCF again. It's going to be a new team, of course. But who is it gonna be is the question, as we soon will head into the draft for this game. A best of 1, of course. Untitled onto the blue side or the first pick versus Team Armageddon Esports onto the red side getting the second pick. And both the lineups are, I would say, they're not the Mythic leaderboard. Wait, Armageddon Esports is actually a Mythic leaderboard team. My bad. I'll just recorrect. But Untitled a Mythic leaderboard team too. Zevo? What do you know?
Honestly, I should have no idea, but
Hey, I caught you lacking. Out there.
no.
But again, wait. Let me just fix that. Since you do not know anything, so I'll just fix it out. never mind whichever leaderboard they are in, but I think the way these teams are playing is equally good, right?
I think they were in Elite though, as far as I remember. Last time I saw.
Okay.
Well, nonetheless, regardless, right? Regardless of the leaderboards, I think it is just, truly phenomenal that the teams they just made it this far into the Mythic Showdown altogether. So it kind of just proves them that the leaderboards aren't the only thing that you would, rely on altogether. In the end, it just, comes down to your skills as a team a whole, right? So. Yeah, that's also one point. But, Shinru, let's take a look at the bans, right? The map is Flying Clouds, so we can expect a lot of fast-paced brawl fights once again here and there.
Absolutely, I think it's going to be very brawly in those in the Land of Dawn, of course, with the Flying Clouds, like you mentioned. It kind of gives the team the advantage to actually just take a fight in the bot lane and then just quickly rotate back towards whichever lane you're playing on, and especially for the fighters, it's a really good map. I would say they can just quickly join the turtle or the objective fights, and then they just quickly go back to the laning phase, just defend it on time. Again, this map will also dictate how team would actually play around, because this is not a broken wall, this is not dangerous grass. So the invasive gameplays might be a bit less, but still the teams have to play around a good composition, a good lineup that they can either go for a scaling from the early to mid or mid to late. But I think so far, whichever games I'm watching, whichever games I'm like looking at, I think the drafts which are actually going for the mid to late game power spike, they're not really winning it out so often compared to that early to mid game drafts. Because this meta is really fast paced in the terms that if you're getting the early lead, if you can get the gold or the economy once in your pocket, it's very difficult to actually just come back from that because of the recent changes that we are looking at in the map, in the system of the game.
I definitely agree with you. Since the game is more likely on to the early to mid phases anymore, it's kind of a given that you would not automatically pick up the marksmen anymore, right? So all together, I think drafting from the early till the mid game up to almost maybe the 18-minute mark, kind of. I think that's more better than having to go for full game late draft altogether. And since most of them are just tanky kind of compositions, even if you go all the way to the late game, it would just be really hard to burst them down, since those are all sustained heroes that the team just go around and go picking around. So yeah, according to me, at least the drafts. But wait, that is quite a peculiar first pick we see from Untitled though. Okay, Chacha, honestly, yes, he is quite the exceptional tank as of now. But I think as a first pick, they could have gone for some different hero at least.
I do agree with you on that. With so much flex picks available on the table, they still pick up the Garud Kacha. Yes, it can be flexed to some extent. Let's be honest. But from that, I think it's a very early Garud Kacha pick. You could have just prioritized the Kimi or something apart from that. Maybe even the Lapu Lapu, but no. We're actually just going for the Garud Kacha, just meaning that this most likely will be the more in the team, so not having that much of a flexibility in the draft course. But apart from that, they're going for the Eve as well as the Esmeralda combo, a very hitbox fixated draft that they're going for, because the G plus the RWM are very huge AoE skills, and if they connect properly, if they are able to execute it properly, it's going to be very difficult to actually just get out of that because of the immense chain CC that will be there, right? Apart from that, I do like the draft for AE, because they are going for that strong mid duo combo with the Kimi as well as the Kalea. I think the double K combo is really good, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, I think you can't really go wrong with a Kimi and a Kalea combo together, because you're gonna be getting all those heals coming in from Kalea, and you get this continuous damage coming in from Kimi, so you can't really escape when she has her tsunami slam onto your side as well, right? A really, I would say, hard to counter combo altogether. But I like that people has been, it's kind of given by now that whenever there's a Lapu Lapu altogether, we just see an Esmeralda popping up nonetheless anywhere
Yep.
in any of the lanes altogether. And it's quite flexed as well. So that was quite the great choice given that it was still the you know first ban phase altogether, not the last one. Because maybe if they had kept the Esmeralda from the later phases, it would have been onto the ban. So they would just want to secure it out, which also is quite a really good choice for their side. They already have a lot of AoE for Untitled, and the only thing that they need is maybe someone with some other front line as well to sustain all together with that catcher.
Yeah, I think they need a bit more frontline, but far it's good. I think the Esmeralda, like you also mentioned, and like we all know, that can be flexed. But at this point, neither of the teams have actually locked on their jungle, right? I think they need somebody to actually secure the objectives a lot easier, a lot quickly, because yes, they have that very dynamic front to back composition with both the sides, picking up those heroes. But still, by far, they have not locked in a good jungler. The YSS is open, the Lancelot, the Hayabusa, the Fredrin will be banned. The Baxi is also open. If they want to go for that, I think Team AE can really pick it up because it's a good hero to go against the Esmeralda, of course. And even to some extent, it can actually lower down the heal the Garudkacha can get from the Revitalize. So that can be a potential option and still open up for grabs. They want to go for that because with their lineup, I think it works really well because they have the damage onto the mid lane, not utility type of mage. So it works really and perfectly fine. Apart from that, if they want to go for something extra or something different, I think the Fanny could be an option, but I don't know if the teams actually play that. But will the Fanny work? What do you think?
I think the Fanny could work from the side of Untitled because they can mark out Kimi, which just stays all the way onto the back line. Once she gets that snowball, once you give her the early game snowball, it's really hard to have your hands on Kimi. So altogether, maybe the Fanny would be able to, at least penetrate throughout these three frontliners. Baksha is also included here. So that could be the only option for Untitled. For Armageddon, oh my goodness, speak of what we were saying. The cables are in here, and this has just gotten a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was just predicting that these two heroes are the most probable ones that can come through. If they Baxia, then the Fanny might just come through, and it did. It in fact did actually. Coupled with the Harith, this is like a lot of damage from the side of Team Untitled, but I think it's a bit from their end as well because they are really going for a lot of damage dealers instead of actually going for the frontliners. I think with the Fanny, the late game is not really secured because the Fanny can fall off. So picking up the Harith is a good choice, of course. But then again, they need a very good positioning into this team fight, and with a pick-off draft like and with the anti-heal too that has been added with the fourth pick, I think they have a good chance to actually just negate or just cancel out the shield that can come out of the lineup of Team Untitled. But at the same time, they need something on the goal lane. If the Lapu Lapu is not going to the goal, they need something more damage because they already have a utility onto the jungle. So a damage is very necessary, but what can actually pair up against that? Brody coming through.
Interestingly enough, the Brody, he does have that early game burst as well, so I think that kind of works out altogether going up against that Harith. And the fact that Granger was banned out, I think Brody was the only choice. They could have gone for a Nathan to go with, but then again, he would be a bit squishy, right? Brody, on the other hand, he does have his second skill to get away, even if Fanny kind of lunges forward towards him, so he could just stun and let them go out. So I think the Brody was a bit better, but oh my goodness, the line.
I see green. I just see green from the line of Team Untitled. Like so many of Purifies out there just for the crowd control that they have.
Yeah, they know not to underestimate the Kalea. So yeah, they have to go. But for Armageddon, it's all flicker altogether, except for the retribution, of course.
Yeah. But I think actually it's a good factor that they are respecting the pick of ability on the side of Team Armageddon Esports. They should not be undermining that, because if they get locked in, if the damage dealers cannot really do what they're aiming to do, it's going to be very difficult for the team to actually pull off this composition or this lineup that they're going with. And we'll see more of that into the Land of Dawn, of course, but this is the post draft scene that you're looking at. You can just break down below which draft do you think actually has a better chance in this game. But at the same time, they're really going for the mid to late game scaling. Some of those heroes are really early game too, especially the Fanny, especially the Brody can do a lot in the early game itself. Apart from that, I think draft requires a few items to be locked in for each and every member for them to do a lot more than just winning out the early game. If they want to change the tide of the game, really need to put a proper display of an execution in this game, going to be the last game for the night. So what are your bets for this one, Zebo?
I honestly like both the team and their draft. One is a really setup oriented, and the other one is a pick off oriented, so we can really tell. But one thing I am for sure is both the teams would want to prioritize on those anti heals first off, because there's a lot of shields and a lot of heals coming in from both the teams, right? Even if they already have naturally inbuilt altogether, it's never enough, especially when you have to stack up on those heals and shields all together one by one. So yeah, that's probably gonna be the first item priority for both sides. But apart from that, the flicker is definitely to escape all those. I mean, just see, if you have those RWM, the Gatotkacha and his ALGs a million altogether, if you don't have any escape skill, I think you're in for the worst setups of your life. You can really go out as well, because there will be taunts, right? But hey, we're going to the final match of today, though.
Yeah, we are going or heading into the Land of Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we welcome you to the Mythic Showdown, Season 2, of course. Final game of the night between Team Untitled taking on against Team Armageddon Esports for the win to the 2-1 bracket. Going to be a very important game, of course. And on the caster decks, me at your service, Shinryu, and I'm joined by Zebu. We'll see how this game goes on. But again, the mid duo, like we have always talked about, for each and every game is always important. And they need to prioritize the rotation, I think, because this is a flying cloud map. There is no advantage in terms of, those invades or those grasses around the map. So they really need to just focus on the rotation a lot more. Like the Fanny can really put the pressure with this cables already going in and out like a Beyblade, but still cannot find the kill because it's way too early for the Fanny to actually deal a damage without that, cutthroat. I don't think so. She can actually get the kill secured this early.
Yeah, but speaking of pressure, she would, want to go around and have a little poke around with her cables and her dual blades altogether. But priority emblem as well. Nothing much out of the ordinary. It's just the basic that we see around here and there. Cooldown from Eve and Esmeralda and Harriet as well, because they kind of need that for all of those setups. But the Gatotkacha is going to be a hell lot of tanky to deal with. Of course, paired up with those itemizations into their hands, right? But apart from that, the tenacity on Brody, I think it works out because given the fact that he's gonna be having those initiations onto himself since he's a gold laner, you have to be a bit, you have to be able to sustain all those engages that is gonna be coming towards you. But no first blood yet, and the turtle would be spawning, so we might see some actions already into the top lane.
Absolutely, and the setups will be there from both the sides. They need to prioritize this objective take, of course, but again, you can see Super Yue is trying to zone out Paulina, and there's still more fights. The Gatotkacha will get the stun up, but able to just get out. The immobilize will not be enough for him to stop. The bravest fight will be going in. Paulina wants to take her down a kill, but the Revitals will be saving them. But Josie picks up the turtle, and with this, she will be dropped down, but just cancel, like not connecting to anyone. But again, Super Yue will be falling. A double kill for George by taking down Super Justin. And with this, the lead in the pocket of Team A, first turtle itself.
Yep, quite a great start for the side of Team AE as of now. They take the turtle as well. Now, since they have that little bit of that aggression onto their side, they would want to continue on those aggression, because once you get that early game snowball, it's gonna be really hard for Untitled to catch up with it. And they know that they can't really go easy on them anymore, especially when they have to depend on those itemizations quite a lot more than Untitled needs to do. But level ranking as of now, Daki is still in the lead with 5. But yeah, apart from the junglers, right? So still, I like that none of the teams are forcing out any unnecessary team fights. As of now, they're just going around and trying to prioritize on those itemizations altogether.
I mean, this game is like, they will not just try to put the kill pressure just yet, because they need the farm, they need the items to be locked in, or they can actually just take those major team fight. But it's not the same for the goal lane. The Brody can actually dominate, but so far I think for the Harith, he's playing really safely. KitKat is not really going too overextended where he can actually get punished. And with the pick drop, I was expecting Twin Flame to just be more aggressive, but there are 3 purifiers available, so it's very difficult for him. But again, the AOG will be dropped down with the RWM. Super Yui will be taken off the map, and Ito will be falling in the hands of Kevin, and now they're going for more. Swen will take down Super Kevin, but not Super Kevin, but somebody got taken down. I'll just figure out who, but at the same time, it was a really a disruption from what just began as just a simple team fight, a pick-off, but full-fledged fight was inevitable for both the sides.
Yeah, a 2-for-2 trade coming in, but the fact that Super Justin missed out on the AOG a bit when Yifat having that RWM, it kind of just threw them off, right? If he was a bit more closer, I think he would have gotten that a 4-man AOG altogether. Would have been a bit better, but still they were able to take it out. Turtle Tsunami Slam would be purified, I believe. Yes, it was.
Oh,
and
but again,
another fight though.
Yeah, they want to go in. The AOG might this time connect, but it gets cancelled out before it could even drop down. The lockup is there from the Tidal Strike, but Joes is really low. Back close to Gwen. Not on Kevin. And with this, Twin Flame will be falling into the dust, and Darky picks up kill, but Swain takes down Super Yui. The AOG finally drops down with the RWM slowing them down. Cannot really connect in time. The members will be able to get back out of that. Finds the escape.
Mid lane gone for the side of Untitled, and that is not a good start for this, especially Fanny, since she kind of scales off the early to mid game as well. She's not getting those, very much needed initiations from her side. But I think as the time goes by, they should be able to pick up on those itemizations as well. And KitKat already, he does have the Starlight side, so after 1 or 2 more itemization, he should be able to spam all his event force and his chrono dashes all together. But they would have to wait it out for them, since Team AE, they are quite aggressive. They're going around with all those objective gameplays as well. But Super Justin and Paulina, they're just chilling in the bush right now. Still not much of a team fight that's going to be initiated, although a bit more poking around. Still, map control, I would say, is in the hands of Team Armageddon Esports as of now. And Untitled, they are just, getting choked down a bit.
Definitely, with all the tier 1s already being taken down, the map has reduced exponentially for the side of Team Untitled, and as of now, they have to play defensively. They can try back answering the aggression with their own aggression, but they're not really finding the way to punish the members of Team A. They're really mobile, they really have those flickers and the skills to get out of the harm's way, and even though the RWM, the AOG are dropping down, it's not really connecting the proper times. They did connect, but at the very end, they could not punish them. Again, hurdle number 3, the objective number 3 will be going in the hands of Team A. With this, they have 100% objective take. And Untitled, they have not really been able to get anything off the table for them. And at this point, with the 3k goal lead that they have, they need to find just the ground where they can punish just like this. Again, Kevin might be the target this time, but able to get out with the steel cables, but could happen in an exponential danger while pushing the tier 1 down bot. So just the first turret being taken down, that Untitled can actually just have a bit of sigh of relief, but it's not nearly enough because they need a scaling for their members, and they don't have the gold. How can they get the scaling done?
Honestly, the main problem for them is to have their economy up altogether. But right now, AOG.
Oh, AOG, they want to go in, but the RWM will be slowing them down. But again, Ito caught in a bad spot, will be taken down, but he will take down Super Justin. Again, Super is low as well, but cannot accept that. Cannot even check. He will have to fall to his death, and with this, 2 members will be taken down. But what a fight!
The initiation from Super Justin was really good, but the thing is, Super Yui, he got left out quite alone. He was able to get away, and honestly, if Kimmy had paid a bit more attention, apart from the team fight that was happening beside her, I think Esmeralda could have been taken down as well. But apart from that, the whole of Untitled, once they get this itemization, their item spike would be. Damage spike would be there, but they have to wait it out a bit. Since Herod already has this Feather of Heaven, he kind of needs to have the Holy Crystal out altogether, which can determine the fate of Team Untitled. So until and unless they have those team fight ready initiations onto their side, they have to be more careful. But it's time for the Lord as well, so Armageddon would want to end the game before they get those power spikes altogether from the side of Untitled, which is quite what they are trying to do. But Super Justin, 2 times he has initiated, and those both times his team was able to help him get those after the fight initiations as well. But a bit of those priority onto the heroes in their backline could help them a bit more.
Definitely. I think the problem could also be that the side of Team Untitled, they have too much magic damage. They're really magic damage reliant, except for Kevin. But again, the Lord this time will be taken down by Josie. And now they want to instigate one more fight. Super Yui cannot even get out of that. And with this, he wants more. They want to go in and punish even more. Kevin trying to get out with a silk cable. Will be able to do so. But at this point, the ball is in the court of Team A. They have the green signal. They can take down the second tier from the top mid and bot lane. But again, you can see Fanny, that is Kevin, is trying to push those turrets rigorously. Is doing his best, and he will be finding another turret. But they need to defend this. Fanny needs to be back, and he needs to be back on time. But again, the side of Team A, they're not really stopping. The holy defense is still there. It might just get proc. The Lord's HP will be dropped down, but the waves are still crashing down. And the side of Team Untitled, they need to clear it out until and unless AE does something to break the tempo.
And if we take a look at the damage dealt, it's the mage and the jungler that's dealing a lot of damage here, surprisingly. But oh wait, Super Yui.
Falls the AOG as well out of them, connects properly. Kevin though, he goes in but does not come out. Ito takes on one more kill. But will it be Untitled? The top is not enough for them to just hold on to their inhibitor turret. On the middle lane will be falling, and with this they complete the match. Team A will find the victory just under 11 minutes of the game and winning this to advance to the 2-1 bracket.
Oh my goodness, that was a really fast-paced game coming in from the side of Team AE. As of now, their whole team composition, it was quite something. There were a lot of interruptions for the side for the side of Team Untitled because of Basha. They also had the Kaleo all together, right? So I think Divani and the rest of the teams were not able to take that initiation that was pretty much needed from their side. So altogether, player of the match would be Raksha, unsurprisingly, because he was there. That utility jungle definitely worked out in their favor, and they were not taken down even by that much of a margin altogether. So for the side of Untitled, yes, they had those damages, but it was surely from the mid to later phases of the game. And Armageddon, they pretty much secured the early game altogether, so they were able to take that upper hand as well.
I do agree with you that I feel in a way that Untitled built their composition with the Garud Kasha being the first pick, and then they went for the Eve. I was kind of hoping that they can actually execute that draft properly, that they can actually lock down the members. They were able to do so, but the problem was, Kevin not really able to find the assassination that he was looking for. Every time he was going in, he was getting punished with the lock-on skills, with a stun from even Ito at some point. I would say the Brody is a good hero to counter out the Fanny, if not the Moscow, right? So in a way, I think they really had that advantage in winning out or stopping the Fanny. So I think they played out really well for the side of Team Armageddon Esports. All those international exposure that they're getting from other tournaments is really paving the path for them to actually just improve and to go very dominant into this such games, because you can see they did not only win it, they won it very dominantly. They had 100% control over those neutral objectives. They had proper map sync. They had proper wave controls, which kind of negated the comeback potential from the side of Team Untitled to even be there.
Honestly, yeah, I agree with you quite a lot. But for Untitled, the whole thing was, I think they were, as I said before, they were not able to get those early game pickouts altogether. But regardless, they would still be in the game, but it's gonna be a little bit hard for them. They have to try their best, right? It was the best of one, so the circumstances that they won was a bit 50-50 as well. Honestly, I liked their team comp a bit better. It was a lot initiation based, but I think they were not able to reach that level of initiation that was pretty much needed for their site. And the fact that they had all those purifies, they were just a bit how do you say that, they were a bit afraid to have those initiations all together, even though Super Justin tried his best to have that. But it was mostly all those counter engages that Armageddon Esports were doing, that it was just helping them fall behind throughout the whole game. But yes, as of now, the rich guy would be Brody, of course, Ito. Still, I think Brody did not get much of a time to shine, because it was not really late game, it was just right before the mid-game mark altogether.
I thought that early game would be a bit more skirmish filled, coming onto the goal lane at least, because the Brody is really good in the early game, but they were really able to play passive in that game. So in a way, they were not really taking too much of a fight. I think the first 2 kills that we saw on the board was after the first turtle take, when the side of Team Armageddon Esports, they put a little bit more, and Paulina went in, and they were able to catch 2 members off guard and take them down. So in a way, I would say Armageddon Esports, they knew where their advantage was, and they were able to just circulate around without that engages, because every time you see, they were just leaving the goal lane completely unattended, that nobody disturbs the goal lane. They really made Untitled kind of focused on the skirmishes they were taking on the other side of the map, so they cannot really put too much resources. And from there, I think Ito got a free farm. He was having the winning lane, and like you mentioned, they were really playing passive with those purifies onto us. Then they were not really, confident enough to actually walk up and deal the damage. They were more on the receiving end, because of which they were not really getting too much of an advantage. But at the end of the day, it's the best of one indeed, and side of Team Armageddon Esports will be the one winning it out, and Untitled, unfortunately, will be dropped down the 1-2 bracket. And with this, we will come to an end for all the games tonight. This was match number 4, and now we have the results. I think 4 teams winning, 4 teams losing, making it completely for us to know which teams are heading to which brackets. And I think for the 1-2 bracket, it's gonna be very difficult. It's like the battle of the survival at this point.
Yeah, battle of the survival, but it is where the thrill lies altogether. So yeah, we'll be excited to see how they play out as well. Because when you get pushed on to, when you get cornered, it brings out the best duo tie situation gameplay that you can, even you probably did not know existed, right? So that is another interesting part of having into the local brackets, but it is also very risky as well, so it's kind of 50-50. The thrills are there, but there's also consequences if you do not know what you're doing. So apart from that, I did really like the matches that we had today, but we still have more matches coming up tomorrow. So it's, we'll be saying our final goodbyes, but it's not the end. We'll still be coming back.
It's okay, Zebu. I'll do the honor for you. I know you're really...
Yes, please.
Really not good with the goodbyes. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is still the Swiss stage running. It's not over yet. There are more games, more exciting matchups that are yet to happen. So don't miss out on any single day, because it's only going to get exciting and more exciting and exciting from here on. You're not getting bored. I am 100% sure. This is the Mythic Showdown Season 2 presented to you by War Drum Games. So don't forget to check them out, like their stream, subscribe them and share it to your friends as well so they can watch as well. And don't forget to check out our Instagram as well. This War Drum Games, War Drum. It's just search War Drum. I think you'll be finding it out very easy. And if you don't, then you can just check it out from the description in the stream itself, in the channel itself. So you can just find our socials. There's this Discord channel that you can join. There is the WhatsApp group that you can join. And there's a lot more. There's a lot of giveaways that are happening every time, and don't miss out on these exciting things, because this is the biggest platform that India has seen for this season and this end of the year, I would say, for 2025. So don't miss it out. Be part of it. Be part of the exciting journey, because there will be a LAN tournament as well for Mythic Showdown Season 2. But with all that kept in store, we'll be taking our goodbyes for now. We'll be waiting for you tomorrow to join us watching the games again. So for now, good night and take care. We'll see you again tomorrow.